Guys, what's going on? This is Awais back with another video of Java Essential Training series. So this video is going to be about multi-dimensional array. I've actually done a video of single dimensional array, but this video is going to be multi-dimensional array. So what is a multi-dimensional array? So let's say you've got let's say 10 values in an array, okay? But in those values, if you want to add a sub values in those array, you can do that. That's called multi-dimensional array. So Java support the use of multi-dimensional array using the same sort of math syntax that you use with simple arrays. But instead of using a single pair of brackets, you need to add two pair of brackets, and that will tell Java that I'm making a multi-dimensional array. So let's look at the example, and I will explain that. Okay. So first of all, for array, I need to define what kind of array am I making. Is it a string, integer, or double, float, whatever it is. So I'll be making a string. So type string data type, and then add two pairs of brackets, okay, instead of one pair of bracket. Okay, so if you want to make let's say you could add a three pair of bracket as well, that's going to be three-dimensional array. But if you're adding a two pairs of bracket, that means you're adding a two-dimensional array. So I will give you an example as well later, but let's look at this. All right, so I will type the name of the array. So let's say I will say states, okay, and then is equal to new, which is a keyword, and data type again. Alright, so I press enter. As you can see that IntelliJ Idea automatically added two square brackets for us, because it's know that we're creating a two-dimensional array because it's a two pairs of brackets now. Let's add a semicolon, and when you declare new and then data type of an array, you need to define how many values you are storing in that array, like indexing the array. Okay, so I would say I'm storing two values, which is outer values. Okay, so in every value I want to store another two values. Okay, so the indexing start from 0 for the array. So let's look at an example how to use them now. So I'll use the name of the array, which is states, and add two square brackets, okay, which is a string array now. Okay, so the first we're gonna type 0 because we start the indexing for array start from 0, and then I'll say a sub item for 0 index, I need to type 0. Okay, and then is equal to, I'll type, let's say Victoria. Okay, and then go to the next line, use the states, which is an array name, and then two square brackets. And now because we have two sub values in that array, which is a 0 index value for outer array, and then this is a sub value of that array, so I have to type 0, okay, and then 1, and then I'm going to say is equal to, it's a string array, so let's type in double quotation, let's say Melbourne. Okay, and then get out of that quotation, semicolon. Alright, so far we have used our array. Okay, so we have two arrays in that state, so we have to declare another array. So instead of writing that, I'm going to copy and paste. Copy this and then paste it. Alright, okay, so now I'm going to say this index is 1 because we already used two subclasses for 0, and now I'm going to use two subclasses for 1. Okay, alright, so now let's change the values as well. So let's say New South Wales. Okay, and then let's say the capital is Sydney. Okay, alright, so I've used our array now. So to print out those values, I'm going to use a for loop now. So for parentheses and declare an integer I is equal to 0, semicolon, and let's say I less than states dot length method. I've explained the length method, but just briefly, it is basically, it's going to see that I is equal to 0 as long as the condition is I less than states number, which we have array, and dot length, so how many index we have in that array, and then when you come back, it increment that, so plus plus. All right, and then let's go down to the line now. we forgot the semicolon. That's a syntax error. So guys, make sure that you don't make any syntax errors, which are not very hard to find. All right, let's add a code block now. All right, so in the code block, I can say, if you want to make your program simple, I can use sout. Okay, I will show you the another method as well in a second, but let's look at this now. So I would say the capital of, okay, and then add a concatenation, and then say states, okay, and then say singles, square bracket, and another square bracket. So here I would say 0 and 0, which is going to use this value. All right, so the capital of Victoria, and I'm going to add a concatenation, and let's say add a string value, which is going to be is, okay, and then let's go to the next line, add a concatenation operator, which is a plus operator, and then say states, okay, and then 2 square brackets, and then here you'll say 0 and 1. So Melbourne, okay, 0 and 1. All right, and then let's add the decimal point at the end. So add concatenation operator, add double quotes, and let's type point here. All right, let's print it out. Let's run it. So we have the capital of Victoria is Melbourne. The capital of Victoria is Melbourne. All right, so I'm going to say here I plus plus. All right, let's run this, or semicolon. Let's run this time now. So now I should say the capital of Victoria is Melbourne. All right, so now we have that. Okay, to make this program a bit more let's say advanced, so we can do we can use a string builder. Okay, it's a part of the java.lang. So type string ring builder, okay, and I will create sp and object for that is equal to new string builder. All right, so next add a semicolon, and then what is a string builder? Basically, if you hover over the cursor here and press Ctrl Q in IntelliJ IDEA, which gives you a documentation of string builder, you can read through it. So just want to mention here the principle of on the string builder are append and insert methods. So I'm going to use append method in this example. Okay, so what it does basically, the append method always add these characters at the end of the builder. Okay, so let's look at it. So now I will use sb, okay, which is an object name for string builder dot append. Okay, so I will append, I'll say the capital of, and then I will get out from that statement and then come down to next line, and I will add a decimal point and then append again, and I'll say states, oops, st states, okay, and then add 2 square brackets, and I will say I, okay, and 0. So right now when compiler comes to I, it sees that I is equal to 0, okay, so we have a 0 value here and then 0 as a sub item. All right, so next we will go to another line and I'll say append, okay, and then I'll add is, let's add space here as well, and then let's go to the next line dot append, okay, and then I'll say states, okay, and then single square brackets, and I will say I, okay. So right now still I is 0 because I is 0 here, so compiler comes to this line, sees that I and 0, so 0 0, that's going to be Victoria, okay, that's going to be this value, and then I'll type 0 here as well. Okay, all right, so now let's go to the next line, add our decimal point dot append, and then decimal point. All right, so we have completed our statement. Next, let's print that out. So system.out.println sb, that's an object name. All right, so now let's run the program. So now it should say the capital of Victoria is Victoria, and the capital of New South Wales is New South Wales. All right, the reason why it's saying that because I 0 0, which is fine, Victoria, but here when it comes down here it says 0 and 0 again. So that's why it goes Victoria is Victoria. So here we have to type 1 instead of 0. Let's run the program again. Victoria is Melbourne, the capital of New South Wales is Sydney. Alright, so that's how it works. The compiler comes here, print this line, and then comes here, it says that I is equal to 0, alright, and then 0, which is this one, and we're using the straight, which is the array name. Alright guys, so that was about the multi-dimensional array. I want to mention here that this is a 2-dimensional array right now, okay, but you could make a 3-dimensional array as well. So it's going to be very complicated for beginner programmers if you make a 3-dimensional array. Basically what it's going to do is, let's add another square bracket here. Alright, so we need to add another square bracket here as well. Alright, so here I can say that this outer array contains 2 sub values, which is 2. Alright, and then this sub values contains the value of 2 as well. So that's a bit of this is very complicated. So I mean, you never have to go to the 3-dimensional array, but it is there. You could make like 10-dimensional array or 15-dimensional array if you want. So I would say the outer array 2 values, which is 0 0, has 2 subclasses, and then these subclasses has another 2 values in those subclasses. Alright, so Java support that as well. You could make 3-dimensional array if you want, but I will make an example video of that later in the course. But for now, that's it for this video guys. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.